Everybody's talking about what's going to happen with the World Fitness Project next year. So are we.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me.
You're muted.
Are you kidding me?
You're live now, but it didn't play the.
All right.
It didn't play.
I'm good now.
Yeah.
All right. Man, this roadcaster, I got to figure out what's going on with it.
I did not hear it at all. And then you went to talk.
What the heck? I can't even pull up stuff. Cory is in the house.
Yes.
Yes.
What's up, guys?
It's birthday week, so we've got to plan out like tomorrow's big adventure of hot sauce. Just so everybody knows. So for my birthday, I'm going to go back and do some hot sauce eating. I used to get this subscription from heatness.com. It's a box that comes with 3 hot sauces that were used on the Hot Ones YouTube show. They don't tell you how hot each one is. So I've randomly picked 2 boxes. It comes with a card as to what the hot sauce is made out of. I'm going to take a picture of this to give to Cory. And tomorrow, while we're talking about stuff, and what makes this fun is you get to shoot questions at me that I have to answer while eating the hot sauce. So we have 2 boxes randomly selected from my collection. Didn't even like, that's the first time this box has been open, is what you just saw. And I have a second box right over here, and I will cook up some chicken tomorrow morning, and I will dab it on the top, and we will eat it and answer questions and talk about CrossFit. Yes, Frida, it is the Russian roulette of sauces. Exactly. So I have no idea what I'm getting into. We are going to just have fun with it.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. If you have not seen, I did a full Hot Ones 10 sauce challenge for my birthday a few years ago. It is all still out there on YouTube. My ass was lit up pretty bad. And I think I drank a whole half gallon of almond milk, a full beer, and water and some other stuff just to get
basically whatever you could find.
I was trying everything, peanut butter. I tried everything to get the heat out of my mouth. So, yeah, fun stuff. But we got Jody, we got Frida, we got Judy, we've got Joseph, we've got Larry, we've got Meredith, we've got Trained Olive. Amanda is able to join us for a live episode. So there's a lot to talk about. We're gonna pop around a bunch of stuff. We're gonna get all chaotic today because that's what happens when Cory's here. Man, that sounds like a cement mixer.
Just a random amount of shit that you drank to try to.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy. So I don't know if you guys have seen, but you know, when someone retires and decides to come back, you get excited, right? Like Phillip Rivers, 44 years old, comes back and plays in the NFL. You know, poor thing doesn't win a single game while he comes back, but he shows that he could still play a little bit in the NFL, which is crazy. And CrossFit has its own version happening right now. Craig Ritchie is competing in a functional fitness competition. I know everybody is excited to see Craig Ritchie back in functional fitness. He's back, but he's still refusing to say CrossFit.
I was on the edge of my seat. Matter of fact, that's me and the wife and the kids went out of town over the weekend. That's all we could talk about was, man, I wonder if Craig Ritchie's ever going to do CrossFit again. And sure enough, here we are. He's back.
He's doing functional fitness. I'm assuming that's the same as CrossFit.
Without the licensing fee. Sure.
Meredith, what has he been up to anyways? I lost track. Yeah, me too. But this popped up in my algorithm for some reason. And I couldn't believe it. So yeah, he's all, look how excited he is.
He seems excited.
He's talking to the legends and yeah, getting back into CrossFit.
Good for him. Good for him.
I knew you'd be excited.
Oh, look, if there's anybody who's a Craig Ritchie fan, it's probably me. Or not. I mean, whatever. Same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. When he first hit the scene and he was like hanging out with Tia and he was hanging out with Justin and he was hanging out with Matt and doing all this, like I really enjoyed his stuff. When it became about just training videos of him, like I totally lost interest.
It was a complete, like we were on this path and then he just made like a 90-degree turn that nobody else could follow because nobody, like they cared that you were talking to actual CrossFit athletes. Nobody cared when you just started doing whatever it was, the training that you were doing. Like, sorry, dude, you're not a games athlete. People aren't interested in that. It's just not a thing. Or you're not a coach. You're not trying to sell programming. You're not trying to do like, that's not what your channel ever was. So it was very hard for people to follow. And then he really lost me when he started like begging people for, well, why aren't you people sending me money? Really?
Well, the sad story that his company was going under because they got screwed on some stuff. And then the next week you see him front row at the Vegas Grand Prix, F1 series, hanging out in the pit row with the VIP tickets. Yeah, I lost a little bit of my so
the luster wore off at that point for sure.
Trish says he's been doing PEDs. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't he aim for weightlifting comp for a while? Yeah, and then I think that's kind of what his focus has been. I honestly have not watched maybe one episode in the last couple years.
That's one more than I have.
So, we have a winner in the fantasy football league.
Oh,
as per usual, Jamie Latimer won the fantasy football league. So I have to send her the trophy, which is a ring. It looks like a championship ring. It is a championship ring. 2025 fantasy football championship ring. So she gets another trophy.
She's never going to let that go.
No, she is the most competitive person I've ever met.
She's never going to let that go.
She had the best record in the regular season. She dominated the playoffs. But the most impressive playoff was Andrew Sten came into the playoffs in last place and won enough games in the playoffs to get to 9th out of 12 teams. Good
job, Sten.
Yeah, that's quite the improvement. It's like winning the lottery or finding a lottery ticket a day after it's expired.
That's that's pretty accurate at that point. It's kind of like what the Saints are doing right now. It's on a 4-game winning streak to improve their record to 6-10. Good job, boys.
Hottest team in the NFL when it doesn't count.
When it doesn't matter, 100%.
Cory looks like he's about to come break my legs for not paying off my rental furniture from his outlet store.
I have people that do that, Trish. I'm not going to do it myself. That would imply me actually getting my hands dirty for something like that. That's not how this works. Also, pay your bill, and I won't have to come break your legs or send people to. Just saying.
So one more. Andrew Stead in the house. My player finally showed up to play. Yeah, just like the Saints. After he was eliminated from playoff contention, his players decided to pick up the pace.
Weird. The Saints actually had an opportunity because the NFC South is so terrible to still get a playoff spot with a 6-10 record. Like that was still in the cards. This whole season has been insane. It's been absolutely insane.
There's absolutely no favorite in the playoffs this year. If you are a gambling person, this is not the playoffs to bet who's going to win the Super Bowl, because if you know, you're a better person than me, because
the Colts called
Philip
Rivers, who had been retired for what, 5 years?
Yeah. He was just about to be nominated for Hall of Fame for being out for 5 years.
10 kids, 3 grandkids, somewhere along those lines. And they were like, hey, man, I know you haven't played in 5 years, but would you like to come be the quarterback for the Colts? And he's like, absolutely.
And he threw a couple touchdowns.
And like, it's playing with the same fire, and like, looked like he never really retired, as far as from that standpoint or whatnot.
It looks like he quit doing sit-ups.
He definitely could probably use a little bit of fitness work, but I don't judge. Good on him for still being out there. But what I'm getting at is that if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the NFL this year, is that out of all the people they could have possibly called, they were like, you know who we ought to call? Philip Rivers. And they were like, well, he's about to be on the ballot for Hall of Fame. And they're like, no.
All right.
Yeah, I see that.
He has more kids than a Minnesota daycare. There you go.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Louisiana's governor is the best LSU coach of all time.
People who say shit like that have absolutely no idea how the state-run system works down here, state school system. So I'll leave that alone.
One more thing before we get into some WFP talk, and then I know you have a good story to tell.
I do.
I'm going to get to that too, but one thing I found, and this is just snarky Scott Day. So we started with Craig Ritchie. The really big Trish hit a nerve. Yeah, I think so.
Little one. It's all right.
Morning Chalk Up posted their favorite moments of 2025. Did you see this?
I did not. I don't follow them anymore.
This is the prime reason why the Morning Chalk Up is now a weekly newsletter. Now. So these are their favorite moments. There's only 3, so it's not going to take me long.
Good.
Annika Greer punches her ticket to the games.
Fair.
There is no bigger Annika Greer fan than me. Right. I have been rooting for this girl for 6 years. Didn't even make my top 10 of favorite moments of the year. But I'm happy for her. I was glad for her. But when you qualify for the games in an online semi that you didn't even get to watch, okay. Favorite moment of the year. Number 2, the men's Rogue Invitational Pro Podium race. That was a pretty good race. Sure. Adler pretty much had it sewn up all day Sunday, but okay. I'll give you that. And then Justin Medeiros wins the Dukic MVP award at Wadapalooza SoCal. Okay. Those are the 3 favorite moments from 2025. Not Lucy Campbell going toe-to-toe with Tia. Not Jason Hopper winning the CrossFit Games. Not the whole Wadapalooza SoCal event where Dallin Pepper gave him so much of himself that he gave himself rhabdo. None of that stuff. This is the 3 you pick.
Again.
Okay.
It's just another reason why this is the first time I've seen that, and it's going to be the only time I've seen that because I don't follow them. And that's why.
How is it determined, Scott? Apparently it is cut up slips of paper, throw them in a hat, shake it around, and just pick out 3.
Let me ask you this. Who's we as far as the morning talk is concerned? Like, who wrote that?
I don't know. When I was with the Morning Chalk Up, there was this whole thing about you didn't put your name on anything because we are a company. We are one.
Okay.
It's not about individual glory. It's about.
That seems kind of silly, but all right.
Sure. Every newspaper in the world has a byline with who wrote the article.
Because that's why you have a writer.
Right. Yeah. That is. Jonathan, I know you don't care. I don't care. That's the point. I'm just being snarky Scott today.
Yeah, and I'm just
week. It's my birthday week, and I can be snarky Scott for a day. Today's my day for snarkiness.
I mean, good on them, but that's their 3 favorite moments. I feel like they were written by Annika,
Justin
and Jeff Adler. Yeah. Maybe that's just me. Oh, that's good shit.
Kenneth Labs is probably Presley. I don't think Presley works for them anymore. I think she is full HWPO. But
anyway.
So anyway, that's just me being snarky. I know you don't care. I don't care. I just found it funny that those are the 3 things that you pick.
It's been a wild year in CrossFit.
2 out of 3 Canadian, probably was Scott who wrote it. Well, that would make sense with my Canadian bias. But I would have picked better stuff than that. I mean, freaking Lucy Campbell beating Laura Horvat at the end of Wadapalooza when they're both on the muscle ups and Lucy outdueled her head to head. That was freaking awesome. Yeah, Jonathan, I think you're right. Presley is full HWPO. Okay, so let's go. You went to Mississippi.
I did.
So we're going to do story time with Cory.
So my wife decided a couple weeks ago that, between Thanksgiving, Legends, Christmas, the whole 9 yards, she wanted to get away one last time before we started the year over. And we got back into the normal swing of things. So we just went to Biloxi for the weekend, which is like a 2.5 hour drive away. And I said, okay, we're going to do that. I'm going to drop in somewhere. And I went and dropped in at Bandit CrossFit. And I met a listener, Mr. Bruce, who has actually hung out with Jamie and Jim Peeper whenever he was up their way, went and dropped at their gym. He said he spent a couple of days with them and they tried to kill him. And I said, I can understand that. I said, I've met Jim Peeper before, and I met Jamie, on a couple of different occasions. I've seen Jim, and they're both ridiculous. So good on you for even, but it was cool. I dropped in, introduced myself to a couple of people, the coaches and whatnot. I was kind of hanging out, and he came walk up and he said, Cory, and I said, yeah, how you doing? He said, hey man, Bruce. He said, big fan of Clydesdale, and I was like, oh, awesome, man, thank you. That's pretty damn cool. And he said, yeah, I don't really watch your show, and I said, I don't really get to make the lunchtime shows, but I'm usually in the chat for the Sunday night CrossFit Talk, with Jamie and Carolyn, and I was like, oh no, man, that's awesome. But even the fact that he knew who I was was kind of interesting in and of itself. But good people down there, highly recommend it if you are in the area. Bandit CrossFit.
And you say bandit like Smokey?
Bandit, as in Smokey and the Bandit. Correct. Good people.
Phillips, I grew up in Ocean Springs, east of Biloxi. It sucks now.
Well, they have a Buc-ee's there now, Mark, that we stopped at, because I don't like to talk about it too much, mention it, but I am contractually obligated to stop at every Buc-ee's that I come across and go in there and get some snacks. And if it's the morning time before 10:30, breakfast brisket tacos. So
Those are the bomb.
it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's the
Amanda, Cory, I was in Lafayette this weekend. It was 77 degrees, vastly different than Maryland, where I feel like it was 7 this morning. It is like, I know you're in the South. We had wind that shook my house all day yesterday.
So if it makes you feel any better, we were sitting last night. I got back from the gym and we were just sitting, hanging out, and the wind, because there's a front passing through, and it was loud enough to not shake the house, but we could hear it. Like, I'm looking at Jennifer going, she said, "What is that?" It's the damn wind that's blowing. Now, it's 43 degrees here today. I'm sure it's probably a little bit cooler where you are.
Yeah, we're like 15.
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't know. I don't want anything to do with 15 degrees at all.
He wants to know who you got your contract through. He would like to ask for the same contract.
I'll put him on you. Tag him. I'll put him on you. But no, the last thing I'll say about that is, so dropped in over there, great people. They were doing their 12 days of Christmas workout, which was fun. Good stuff. So I had to go do that with those people. We went and just did what my wife wanted to do, which is basically what she said was be bored in a different place than home. So we brought the kids to one of the big arcades, let them go play and stuff like that. We had dinner Saturday night. We get home Sunday about 12:30, and you know this, all of us who are 40 plus, 45 plus know this. If you get in a car for 2.5 hours, when you get out, it sucks.
Oh.
Like, everything's stiff, painful. Like, you got to move around and stuff like that. So we got home about 12:30 or so, unpacked everything, and kind of putting everything away and whatnot. And Jennifer said, "I think I'm gonna take a nap." And I was like, "That sounds like a solid idea. I am also going to take a nap." And she looked at me and she said, "No, you're not. You're going to go work out." My wife kicked me out of the house to go train Sunday afternoon.
That's a good wife.
And if she ever gets tired of me, I'm gonna tell her to go take a nap, because she's stuck with me for the rest of forever. I was telling Brandon that actually Sunday evening, because from her coming to Legends and seeing, like, the whole leading up to it, she was like, I'm going to compete. I want to be in the final heat, blah, 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 whatever. She's like, "No, you're going there, try to get on the podium." And I was trying to explain to her the best way I could that there's going to be actual games athletes there, like younger people that are coming into the age group. Like, if I'm in that top, then that's a win for me, right? And she doesn't, I don't say not understand, but like, she sees me at the gym and knows what I do there, knows the kind of work I'm putting in. And so at one point, Sunday before we came back, she said, "So everybody was moving as fast as you do?" And I went, "Yeah." It's kind of what was happening and going on. And so I think, to her credit, like, she didn't poo-poo any of that anymore. She was just kind of more like, "Holy smokes, like, you need, for you to be able to do what you do, this is why you do what you do, like the sacrifices that, I've put up, go through the training and all that other stuff." So for her to say, "No, you're not fixing to take a nap. Like, I know we just had a 2.5 hour car ride back and you're stiff as shit, but you need to go to the gym and go work out." That's what I did. So mad props to my wife.
So Joseph and Amanda were having a conversation of where in Maryland Amanda lives. She said technically the Eastern Shore, but Stevensonville, Kent Island. So I had to go I had to make a visit to the Eastern Shore of Maryland from Columbus. I was on a plane so small that my coworker and I were told, we flew to Philly and then we flew a small plane from Philly to the Eastern Shore. And my coworker and I were told you have to sit on opposite sides of the plane so we stay balanced. That's how small the plane was. We flew.
Excuse me, Mr. Schweitzer. I'm gonna need you to get on that side, and I'm gonna need you to be on that side.
And my coworker was like 6'4", 280 basketball player. Like, yeah.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. The only time I've ever been on one that small, it was taking one from Dallas to Houston, and then I was gonna fly from Houston back to home. And from Dallas to Houston, we flew through a thunderstorm, right? And it's a little 2 seats on this side, 2 seats on that side type deal. And I was on the aisle seat, and there was a lady sitting next to me. We're flying through a thunderstorm, dude. Like, I've never seen anything like it. You can see the lightning jumping from cloud to cloud. So I'm leaning over her to look out the window. And at one point she said, "Do you want to switch spots?" And I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm this is as close as I want to get. I just want to be able to see."
Yeah, it was not a great experience. Tallahassee didn't have jet service when I lived there. So I've flown on a lot of small planes. One to New Orleans, where I flew over a hurricane. That was insanity. But yeah, that time where they actually, because it was only one seat on each side and only 4 rows. And they were like, yeah, Jim and Scott, you got to go on opposite sides of the plane so we can stay balanced. And I was like, holy hell. It was almost like that. It was almost a rubber band propelled plane. They had somebody go outside and grab the propeller and be like, "Contact," and then smash it down so it would start. Yeah, there was no we had to go out onto the tarmac and then up the steps and in. It was not there was no jetway out to the plane. And when we landed in Maryland, literally it looked like you pulled up to a Sunoco station. It looked like an airport. Like, it was the damnest thing I've ever seen in my life. There's a dude out there with the little engineer hat on with some dirty overalls. He had a rag just wiping some stuff down. "You boys getting off this plane or y'all catching it again? I got to put some fuel in it, check the air in the tires." Holy smokes, dude. Yeah. I'm going to fill her up for the return trip. Check the oil while you're at your conference. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. All right, man. Let's get back into some fitness talk. I didn't get to see the full episode of Boys Interrupted, but Dents posted this, and I thought it was a great talking point. So Jenny posted this on her site. It's from Boys Interrupted. I'm going to share my screen. And it's the Boys Interrupted minus Hopper talking about the World Fitness Project for next season. And it's
unknown that there's athletes that are considering if they're going to do the project next year or not.
Everyone's asking, what are you guys doing this year? I'm going to do it as long as it doesn't interfere with me trying to win the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, we need the schedule, which we should be getting.
No one has soon. We should have it soon before we're hearing.
Yeah, I'd like to see the schedule and how many. I've heard different numbers of how many events. All those things matter a lot.
I think next year there's obviously, I don't think it's unknown.
So what this is clearly stating is there is a priority on the CrossFit Games season over the WFP. The WFP will be done only if it fits within the calendar to make sense for these athletes. That James said it perfectly. I will compete as long as it doesn't interfere with me trying to win the CrossFit Games.
And he has a legitimate shot to actually win the CrossFit Games. It's not like if I was saying it.
All of these 3 have a legit shot.
Yeah.
All of them.
100%. And the guy who wasn't there because he was not feeling well or whatever the case may be.
Just won the CrossFit Games.
Just won the CrossFit Games. So, yeah, 100%. Yes.
Jenny, I'm surprised they haven't released the schedule yet. Yeah, I'm wondering if they are in scramble mode, knowing that they are now the lower tier. It is obvious the high-end athletes are saying they are the lower tier, and it affects them. And now they're probably scrambling to make sure that they fit within the season so that they can keep as many of them as possible.
Well, here's the thing: the season's been out. We know what the season's good. CrossFit season, yeah.
But the WFP have to find venues. They have to find the places to go and be able to schedule them to be able to release their own schedule. And it's probably what's holding it up, because I think, yeah, Jenny says it here. Will said earlier this year they would release next year's way before anyone else, but yet here we are. And I think it's because they have come finally to the realization that they are a lower tier competition season than the CrossFit Games. And now they're going to have to find a way to fit, and they have to go get new locations, new venues, and get contracts with all of that to set up their schedule.
But all the logistics that's involved with that, right? Getting equipment there, volunteers, paid volunteers, whatever the case may be, medical staff, like all of that shit. It all needs to be in place. And
Frida said they probably thought the CrossFit would dally as in prior years.
here's my thing: if I'm WFP and I see what's happening on the CrossFit side, because they're paying attention, they can't not. As soon as y'all see that, oh, they just released their entire schedule, I'm jumping on that right there. Okay, well, here's where their schedule is. So let's go, if we're going to have overlap, if we're not going to have overlap, like, you're on it at that point. You have to be. I would think so anyway, if you want to continue doing what you're doing and have what we just saw is a potential 1, 2, 3 at the CrossFit Games on the men's side, right? Those 3 dudes, not counting Jason, who wasn't there, right? Those are 3 of them, and they all just said, "Oh, I'm not going if it's going to interfere with me trying to win the games." So why would you not have that as your number one priority to schedule it to where, well, I want these guys here, if at all possible. And the same thing on the women's side, because I'm sure the women are saying that the same thing that the guys are, like the ones who want to win the games are saying the same things that the guys are. I want to be the fittest on earth. I will do this other thing because it puts money in my pocket and I had a good time doing it. But I want to be the fittest on earth, period.
Right. I think Jonathan's making this argument that it's just a week after their finals or a couple weeks after their finals. If you're securing venues, you want to do it at least a year ahead of time. The longer out you can schedule it, the cheaper it gets for you. So I'm assuming that they had a plan. And if you listen to the podcasts that have been leaked that they were trying to get venues, and they talked to Torian, they talked to some of these other locations, they've been working on this schedule for a long time. So they could have released this at any point. I truly think they looked in the mirror and said, "Oh shit, we're going to lose all of the top end athletes if we don't make this fit better into next season's schedule," and had to scrap all their plans and now have to find new venues, new locations to make it work. And like I said, I think they should do it more in Europe and Australia than they do it in the US. It is abundantly clear that the crowds were much more receptive for what happened in Europe than they were in the US, and use those places to build your brand. Because without that, you're gonna go nowhere. And we're going to talk about the Hiller video that came out yesterday that demonstrates that really, really well. So,
which the one he put on the Hiller Fit?
I believe so. He interviews a gym in Indianapolis who is a CrossFit affiliate. They are a WFP affiliate, and they're a High Rocks affiliate.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
And they actually talk about what each one brings to the table.
Oh, I need to watch that. I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, Jenny says they were the ones saying CrossFit should release it sooner, and now they are not. It's the hypocrisy for me. And earlier she said Will shouldn't make statements he can't follow through on. And I think it's for Will, and not to make excuses for him, it's a moving target. They thought they were going to come in and be a shift in the system, and they're not. and they had to come to a realization. They had to look at themselves and tell themselves the truth, which they have not done for the majority of last year, and say, we are not going to be able to compete with the CrossFit Games. We have to now establish ourselves as something different. So, Jonathan, okay, how long did it take CrossFit to release a schedule early? But Jonathan, the WFP came in saying they were going to be better than CrossFit. They had learned all the mistakes that CrossFit had made, and they were going to correct those, and they were going to be better than CrossFit. You don't come in bombastic making those statements and then fall short on everything you promised. And that's
for the athletes. For the athletes, by the athletes.
And that's the issue. They should have learned from what they saw going on. They know what the complaints are. They know what people were upset about. Don't then make all these promises that you don't fulfill on anything.
So the reason why I said for the athletes, by the athletes, is that you're coming across as if like you're speaking for the athletes at that point, right? But we're for the athletes, we're by the athletes. We're going to do things better because we know, because we've been the athletes and seen what's happening and going on. And then you just can't follow through on that because whatever reason, you just don't, because you have these pie in the sky ideas for some of the stuff. Some of the stuff they did do better. I mean, we've gone over that. Some of the stuff we did like, some of the stuff we didn't like, some of the stuff that they said they, and a lot of the stuff I should say they said they did, they didn't actually do. And what Jenny just said right there.
Hold on, Vindicate said, "Do you think they ever had a plan?" I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if they came out swinging like they did, but who knows if they actually did have a plan.
Right.
And then Jenny says they underestimated everything it takes to run a successful season.
That is the truest thing anybody has ever said about, if you look at the whole of their season, of their plan, whatever it was, from when they said, oh, we're going to offer affiliates. Okay, what does that look like? We don't know. Tell us what you want. That's not a plan, right? And what Jenny just said, they just underestimated what it actually takes because you've never run a season before. You've been in a season before and you've been part of it, but there's a way, way different from just being an athlete, showing up, competing, being that part of that process, as opposed to being the Jason Ansleys of the world who was putting on this entire show that's going on, the Dave Castros of the world, name somebody. It's two completely different things. So you can't just look at it and go, oh, we can do that. I got all this money. Surely with all this money, I can do all these things that CrossFit can do because we have all this money. Well, even though the sport is still very, very new and very, very much in its infancy, they've still been doing it for 20 years.
So Holly, the crack researcher that she is, gives us a quote from the great Michael Scott. Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't know where it's going. I just hope to find it somewhere along the way, like an improv conversation. An improvisation. That's why she's the best in the business.
I love Holly.
She does the crack research for us to bring us those types of things. Terry, Will is tremendously inexperienced at running competition, and he is surrounded by people with even less experience. He does have people like Jason Ainsley around him that are experienced in this, not at the grand level that they promised it to be, though.
I've competed in one of Jason's events, and it was fantastic. I got to say it. That was one event.
Jenny, they started this emotionally and not logically from the start. They set themselves up for failure, and now they have to figure out how to pivot. I have been preaching that myself for months, saying that they built this on a foundation of a tragedy. And that is not a concrete foundation to start a business of any kind on. Will's biggest mistake was not offering Wilson Pack $500,000 to run the season. Amen, sister. I sat and talked with Will, and I shared this, a week ago, that Wilson has moved into my neighborhood. He lives 15 minutes up the street from me now, Wilson. And we had coffee, and I learned as much in that hour and a half conversation about competitions than I have learned in 6 years of media. Like, that man forgot more than I have ever known. Judy Reed, I give them props for trying. It's the way they went about it. And that kind of leads me to the other point. And that is that Hiller put out a video where he interviewed a gym owner in Indianapolis who is a World Fitness Project affiliate and a CrossFit affiliate, in addition to being a High Rocks affiliate as well. And his attitude was, I wanted to see what it was, and the only way to truly know is to join up and see what they were going to offer. And then I could talk to my people about what that meant and whether it made sense for us or not. But there's no way to truly know unless I dive in and do it.
Right.
And Hiller asked him flat out, what have you received from World Fitness Project as part of you being an affiliate? And he said, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And if that's your answer, that is that was the fatal flaw of the World Fitness Project. You had people that didn't like what you were doing, and then you had a group of people going, well, let's wait and see. And then you tried to come up with your own affiliate program, and you lost everybody who was half-ass interested. And not only did you do that, you did it for a decision that you're not even following through on. You're giving those affiliate owners absolutely nothing. You could give a shit less about your affiliate program.
And it's obvious.
And that was your fatal flaw. There may have been other ones to come, but the minute you decided to create an affiliate program, you alienated 75% of the CrossFit space. The minute you did it. And for what? You're not even doing anything with it. All you did was blow up your plan. If you had a plan. I don't know, like. Sounds like another smear campaign. Careful, Scott.
What Frida said right there.
It's always better to start small and focused.
Do one thing and do it well. When you do one thing and do it well, it's what Greg's been preaching forever. Focus on, this is what we do. Do that well and let everything else fall into place. And just keep doing it well, and just keep doing it well, and it's gonna grow organically. It's how it works. Instead of, I got $1 billion and I'm gonna use as much of it as I can and hope that it's okay.
Apparently, it is Smear and Snarky Tuesday here on the Clydesdale. Jenny says they really should pivot to all European, like Ortega says he's heard rumors of. I've been saying that for a couple of weeks. It's the only way they're going to survive. They have shown that the only audience they can draw in is in Europe and maybe Australia, maybe some of these other places around the world. They can try to do stuff. At most, you should have one U.S. stop on the tour, just to kind of appease some of the higher end athletes so they don't have to travel overseas for everything.
Correct.
And maybe if you take it down to just one, maybe you get a little bit more attendance with just one stop. Who knows? But Europe showed up on Saturday and Sunday for the finals. And that's not a debate.
No, not at all. Not at all. And like the boys were saying, the Sunday, especially, like the atmosphere was electric. Like people were on their feet. Uh, Pepper was talking about it this morning, saying like they were doing chants and they were at noisemakers. Like he said, it felt like going to a European soccer match. He said, and that was awesome. But you're not going to get that here. It's just not the same. It's just not the same type of crowd. And like we said the other day, there's already so many big competitions here in the States. Like instead of adding one, which would have been okay, you decided to add two. Well, now you're splitting the population because people who are going to attend one are probably not going to attend two if it's the same thing with the same people, just different workouts. It's probably not going to happen.
Frida says, smear Snarky Tuesday is the best way to start with the week off.
Yeah.
Train Olive, I think Cory answered a lot of this. Why do you think people didn't show up in the U.S. locations? Marketing, lack of interest. I think they pissed off a lot of people here in the U.S., and that was one thing. Two, we have a lot of options here in the CrossFit space to be able to go see the athletes. And they didn't do any marketing. Their marketing this year was pathetic.
No.
And Hiller's pointed that out. I've talked about it a lot, that they had all these open gaps where CrossFit was kind of at rest, that they could have been just flooding the market with their stuff, and they didn't do any of it. And then they released like the workouts on a holiday. We talked about that. Podcasts, YouTube videos don't do anything on Thanksgiving, Christmas. They just don't.
They never have, and they're not going to.
Amanda, we are already saturated with high-level comps all year long in the U.S. And you have a lot of like these mid-majors where there's like really good action to go watch live, and with community events that you can participate in as well. And people are choosing to do that as opposed to like just go sit and watch people, right? They can be a part of something rather than
What Travis is saying right there.
they were.
He's not wrong.
No.
I can go to Wadapalooza, which is in Miami, which is already a South Beach, which is already a travel destination if there wasn't a high level competition going on. Or I could go to, where was the first one at?
Indianapolis.
And
not even like kind of a suburb.
Yeah. I'm probably going to go to Miami.
Yeah. Or you can go to Huntington Beach, California, and watch Wadapalooza SoCal. Yeah, I beat you to it, Jenny. Jake's been talking about the affiliate effect and that, like, did anyone genuinely think they ever would, whatever. Did anyone ever genuinely think anything they ever did would actually make a dent on regular affiliates? No.
Not at all.
So they did it just to piss people off. The only outcome was to anger people. And you got a handful of affiliates to try you out.
So that worked. They got the pissing people off part down. They got that figured right out. They got that. That's not even a question.
He also says, I also don't think that many affiliate members give much thought toward comps these days. We need to engage affiliate owners again before we begin to think about starting these new comps on the scene.
He's not wrong. It depends on the gym. There are
competitive gyms that think about it all the time, and there are things that
yes. Like I'm just trying to think at my gym.
Who Rich Froning is.
Right. There's probably 7 or 8 people, maybe 10 total at my gym who sign up for competitions regularly, and therefore they know who people are.
Trying to read Jake's messages. I speak gobbledygook.
But there are gyms that I know of that aren't far from me that like they have a lot more competitive athletes. Some of that's location, some of that's, what you got going on and whatnot, but he ain't wrong. He's very, very not wrong.
Yeah. Affiliate owners drive engagement, and the open is the start of it all. I completely agree. I've told you guys my first gym that I belonged to up until 2021, the open was the biggest deal of the year. And some of those people didn't even know there was a competition after the open. It was just, we divided our gym up into teams, and the gym only did the open workout on Fridays and Saturdays. And we roped it off. We had a place for the crowd to sit and cheer. And it was like an event every year. And we had 180 people sign up for the open. And we had like 250 members. So that, like,
That's
it was
a big deal.
Insanity. Now, it is a lot of work on the affiliate owner and all the coaches to come in and run all that and get judges and all of that stuff. But it was pure insanity. And I loved every minute of it.
As a coach and a competitive athlete, I will say it's a lot, but I enjoy the shit out of it when there's a lot of people there doing it. And I think that like people leading up to it, you try to hype it up. I know at our gym, people are kind of blasé about it most of the time. But once they actually get in it and the heat start, then you see the competitive people everybody, if you were in a CrossFit gym, I do not care what you actually say, you are a competitive human being because you are looking at your score and you are trying to do well. And you're putting yourself in a position where you're leaving everything out on the floor at least once or twice a week. If you are a CrossFit athlete in a gym, you are a competitive person. And when you get people to actually
Or you're
show up,
married to one.
could be.
My wife is the least competitive person ever. She will stop in the middle of a workout to go give a high five, to cheer someone on. She could care less where she finishes on the leaderboard, but that is the exception, not the rule.
Right. One of my best friends in the entire world, him and his wife have been coming to the gym. They were actually there before I got there, and Jeff won't judge his wife anymore because she flat cussed him out in the middle of oh man, which sometime around 2020 or 2021, something along those lines. I was there for it. It was fantastic. Like she stopped and turned around and like gave him one of these, and he was like, "You're not getting low enough on your wall balls," and she flew on him, dude. It was fantastic. But what I'm getting at is that the people that do end up signing up, once you get in it, like, and then they remember, oh yeah, this is actually fun, and they enjoy it, and they beat themselves up sometimes. So
I'm going to call you out, Larry. I don't know, Cory. I go and I don't care about beating anybody in the gym. Larry, I've seen your posts. I've seen you. You care about beating yourself. You want
correct.
to be better than you were yesterday, and it is very evident that you are very competitive in making yourself better.
And so shout out to Chase Ingram because he's the one that said it a couple of years ago. I've been repeating it ad nauseum. Is the open is, if nothing else, even if you're, I don't care about blah 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 blah, it is your yearly fitness checkup. Am I fitter than I was last year? Can I finish 3 spots higher, 220 spots higher, 100 spots higher than I did last year in the open? So I don't want to hear that. I don't care about beating anybody. Then you still need to beat yourself. Like,
yeah,
you want to be better than you were yesterday.
Saying for days, I need to be able to compete with these cardio junkies, and that's why he signed up for an affiliate, and that's why he's trying to make himself better.
Therefore, you care.
Yeah, it's more about getting my old self back, but failing badly. You're not failing because you're there and you're showing up, buddy.
Yeah. And don't talk about my friends like that, Larry. You're not failing, dude. As long as you're still trying, as long as you still get up, you are not failing. You can't.
Yep. That man's an inspiration.
Absolutely.
I'm going to finish off today's show with this. It's the year end. You look back a lot. I'm so thankful for all the people that make this show great. And that includes you, Cory. I talked about that yesterday. Holly is the best research and analysis person there is. She is awesome to me. I can reach out to her at any day, time, whatever, and she always responds. She's the best. But Rick Beato, who does a music podcast that I listen to all the time, was talking about an artist who the record label gave up on his song. He loved it. He knew it was going to be a hit. He posted it 134 times on different social media accounts, and then it became a hit. And it's because you don't give up. And what's awesome is 44% of podcasts don't make it past episode 3. 8% of podcasts don't make it past episode 10. I'm sorry. Only 8 make it past episode 10.
Oh.
And we are over 1,500 episodes. And that's because of you and your support and everything that you do for us. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a great holiday season. We're going to be here tomorrow with my birthday challenge with some hot wing roulette. And Cory's going to kind of be running it, asking questions. We're going to get through all of that. It's going to be a fun day, celebrating my birthday, which is Thursday. Can't wait to be with you. Don't forget to go to thirdzy.com /Jazzy, because you need to recover after eating all those hot wings. So you got to go Jazzy, go to thirdzy.com, use the promo code Jazzy, or thirdzy.com /Jazzy to get your Thirdzy and recover from everything you're doing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Cory, for hanging out with me. Can't wait for tomorrow. Hope we see you all there. Peace out.